Hey, welcome back to Books Unboxed, where we take a deep dive into the pages of books, analyze them like Sherlock with a cup of coffee, and still manage to have a good laugh along the way. I'm your host, NK, and today we're getting up close and personal with one of the most talked about books in modern Indian mythology. Yep, I'm talking about The Immortals of Meluha by Amish Tripathi. It's got everything: epic battles, mystical powers, philosophical dilemmas, and a dash of romance to keep things interesting. And trust me, I'll make it as fun as a Bollywood movie. So sit tight, grab some snacks, and let's unravel the journey of Shiva, who starts out as a tribal leader and ends up, well, let's say a little more than that. All right, let's begin at the start of this mythological roller coaster. Chapter 1 opens with Shiva, a leader of the Gunas, a tough warrior tribe living in the freezing cold of the Tibetan highlands. And when I say tough, I mean it. Shiva isn't the gentle spiritual Shiva we all picture. He's rough. This guy's been dealing with tribal conflict, hostile environments, and no proper heating system. And yet he remains the coolest cat in the tribe. He's got charisma, leadership skills, and a way of winning battles with nothing but his raw power and, wait for it, an unshakable belief that everything happens for a reason. He's that guy, folks. You know, the one who's always the first to sign up for the dangerous mission in every action movie. But here's the twist. Shiva's life is about to change when a messenger from the land of Meluha shows up. Meluha is this perfect civilization, a utopia where the people are healthy, prosperous, and super advanced in terms of technology. I mean, the place sounds like the ancient version of Silicon Valley, right? But here's the kicker. Shiva is summoned to Meluha for a reason. They believe he is the Nilkanth, the prophesized hero who will save their world from destruction. It's like finding out you're the chosen one to lead the Avengers, except you didn't even know there was a war going on. Talk about being blindsided. Now, Shiva's like, I'm just trying to survive the cold and keep my people safe. What's going on here? But of course, because this is an epic saga, he decides to go anyway, a man on a mission, right? So he travels from the icy mountains of his homeland all the way to Meluha, and let me tell you, he's not expecting what he finds. This is no ordinary city. This is a place with advanced medicine, incredible technology, and a society built on an almost otherworldly kind of order. There's something about Meluha that immediately hooks Shiva. It's too good to be true. And we all know what happens in stories like that, right? Nothing is as it seems. When Shiva arrives, the leaders of Meluha, specifically the Suryavanshis, are like, oh, thank the gods, the Nilkanth is here. And Shiva's like, I'm just trying to figure out how to make sense of this. They tell him that he's destined to destroy the evil Chandravanshis, a rival clan that threatens the peace and stability of Meluha. So, naturally, Shiva's like, okay, cool, I can fight, but I'm just here for the tour. Yet, in true hero fashion, he agrees to help, not fully understanding what's going on. Classic hero move. I'll just go along with it until everything blows up in my face. Now this is where the plot thickens. Shiva is introduced to the Suryavanshi way of life, and he learns that they're basically obsessed with this magical liquid called the samras. Now let's talk about samras for a minute. This stuff makes you immortal. That's right. Immortality juice. If you drink it, you live forever. You're healthier than a kale smoothie, and your skin looks like you've had a spa day for 1,000 years. Who wouldn't want some of that, right? But here's the thing. Somras comes with a catch. While it gives you immortality, it also makes the people of Meluha rely on it way too much. Without it, they're, well, normal, and that's not good enough for them. It's like the ultimate cheat code for life, but there's a price, and Shiva is about to discover that price is not as glamorous as it sounds. As the story continues, Shiva meets Sati, a fiery, independent woman who is also deeply connected to the mysteries of Meluha. She's fierce, smart, and not here to play by anyone's rules. I mean, she might just be the original badass. She's way ahead of Shiva in terms of knowing what's really going on in Meluha, and guess what? She's also deeply involved in the political unrest brewing between the Suryavanshis and the Chandravanshis, and oh boy, the tension between these two groups is so thick you could cut it with a knife. As Shiva gets closer to unraveling the mystery of Meluha and the immortality drug, the truth starts to come out. Turns out not everything is what it seems. The Chandravanshis are painted as the enemy, but Shiva begins to question whether they're really the bad guys. What if just maybe there's a bigger story here? What if the world of Meluha is built on a lie? Think of it like realizing your favorite TV show was actually all a simulation. Mind-blowing, right? By the end of the book, Shiva's been through a whirlwind of battles, betrayals, and some serious soul-searching. He discovers that being the Nilkanth doesn't just mean saving the day. It means making tough decisions, questioning everything, and realizing that no one's really a villain, just people doing what they think is right. The Suryavanshis and the Chandravanshis, they're not so different. The real enemy, it turns out, is not what you thought it would be. That revelation hits you like a ton of bricks. And guess what? This is just book 1 of the trilogy. So you're left hanging with a lot of questions and, yeah, a pretty big cliffhanger. So, what do I think of the Immortals of Meluha? It's got everything you need for a great read. Action, romance, mystery, and some seriously deep questions about fate, destiny, and what it means to be a hero. Shiva's journey from a clueless tribal leader to the god we all know and love is one heck of a ride. The twists and turns, the plot, the characters, everything keeps you hooked. The pacing is fast and the world building is on point. Plus, there's enough suspense and drama to make you want to keep reading, even when you're not sure who to trust anymore. And hey, let's not forget the best part. It's not just a story about gods and immortals. It's about how ordinary people are forced to confront their own sense of duty, power, and identity. Sure, Shiva might end up being a god in the end, but he's also just a guy trying to figure out who he is, and that's something we can all relate to. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Books Unboxed. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Immortals of Meluha, make sure to grab the book and dive into the rest of the trilogy, because you're going to need some answers. Until next time, stay curious, keep reading, and remember, just because someone's a chosen one doesn't mean they've got it all figured out.